The Raiders are stepping into a new chapter on the offensive line, and Pete Carroll has now made it official. Veteran lineman Stone Forsythe will take over as the starting left tackle, a move that has sparked both confidence and skepticism among fans. Carroll, who once drafted Forsythe in Seattle, was quick to defend the decision, praising his attitude, work ethic, and prior experience, starting in over a dozen NFL games. To Carroll, Forsythe is steady, smart, and ready for the challenge. But even as he handed him the job, Carroll made sure to highlight rookie Charles Grant, whose athletic potential and relentless preparation suggests he's not far behind. That subtle nod created a sense of urgency. Forsythe may be the guy today, but the leash isn't long. The history between Carroll and Forsythe cannot be ignored. Carroll once trusted him as a swing tackle in Seattle, plugging him into high-pressure situations when called upon. The Raiders, recognizing that background, brought him in for a similar role. And now, thanks to Kolton Miller's injury, he's been thrust into the spotlight. Many fans, however, remain doubtful. Viral clips of Forsythe losing a few ugly reps have painted him as a liability, while others wonder if the team should have rolled with Thea Munford or DJ Glaze instead. But the truth isn't that simple. Forsythe may not be a star, but compared to the alternatives, he offers a more reliable floor. Munford hasn't developed into the anchor fans once hoped, and Glaze's inconsistency has been frustrating. Forsythe may not dominate, but he won't crumble either if the coaches are smart with how they use him. The blueprint for making this work comes from an unlikely place. The Chicago Bears. When they faced the Raiders earlier this year, their own offensive line was in shambles. Both tackle spots were manned by backups, yet the drop-off wasn't glaring. Why scheme? The Bears chipped with tight ends, used running backs in protection, and avoided leaving their linemen on an island against Max Crosby. That's exactly how the Raiders must handle Forsythe. Don't set him up for failure with constant one-on-ones against elite edge rushers. Give him help, scheme protection, play to his strengths. But while the pass game can be managed with strategy, the run game tells a different story. In the trenches, there are no shortcuts. Early this season, the Raiders' most successful runs came behind Kolton Miller, who consistently created push and opened lanes. On the right side, DJ Glaze simply couldn't replicate that dominance. With Forsythe stepping into Miller's shoes, the ground attack will likely suffer. He isn't a people mover. Against the Colts, fans will quickly see the difference. There might still be big runs thanks to individual brilliance, but the consistency will be gone. Without Miller, the Raiders lose their most reliable source of run game production. That's where Charles Grant enters the conversation. Carroll made sure to mention that the rookie is preparing as if he'll be needed any moment. His tools are undeniable, athletic, powerful, with the kind of build that turns heads at practice. He's raw, yes, and he hasn't faced elite competition, but the potential is sky high. If Forsythe falters, the Raiders may have no choice but to turn to Grant sooner than expected. Carroll hinted at it in his presser, suggesting that if Forsythe struggles, Grant could get his shot. The real test will be how quickly Carroll is willing to pull the trigger. If Forsythe is a turnstile for 2 straight drives, why wait? Try the rookie. See what he has. Flexibility at left tackle isn't just a preference, it's a necessity. The Raiders have also made moves around the edges of the roster to patch holes left by Miller's injury. Kolton was placed on injured reserve, forcing the team to elevate tight end Carter Renan and sign veteran tackle Leroy Watson to the practice squad. Watson isn't a savior, but he has NFL snaps under his belt, including 4 starts with the Titans last year. His PFF grade wasn't pretty, but he has real game experience. Something the Raiders clearly value more than untested camp bodies like Caleb Rogers. Passing on younger system-familiar options in favor of Watson suggests the team isn't willing to gamble on potential at this stage. They need someone who's been in the fire before, even if he hasn't thrived. While the offensive line has dominated headlines, the backfield has given fans something else to talk about. Ashton Ginty. After reverting to his old stance, dubbed the Michael Myers stance, by some fans exploded for 155 total yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bears. The numbers speak for themselves. Before switching back, He was averaging fewer than 50 yards per game. With it, he looked unstoppable. Critics note that some of this production came from facing a Bears defensive line built on size rather than speed, which matched up poorly against the Raiders' quicker offensive line. The real test comes against the Colts, who boast faster, more disruptive players like DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart. But regardless of matchup, Ginte's confidence is back, and sometimes confidence is everything. His comments about feeling more comfortable in the stance could even be seen as a dig at Chip Kelly, previously forced him into a different style. That small change has unlocked something, and the Raiders' offense is reaping the benefits. On defense, there have been adjustments as well. One change that stood out was the Raiders moving away from single high safety looks. Earlier in the season, stacking the box with one deep safety left them vulnerable to explosive plays. Against the Bears, they leaned more on two high shells, limiting deep shots and preventing back-breaking plays downfield. The results spoke for themselves. Chicago managed a few intermediate completions, but never hit a game-shifting bomb. For a Raiders defense that had been bleeding chunk plays, this shift is significant. That said, other issues remain unresolved. The team continues to play far too much base defense, sticking with 3 linebackers on the field, even in situations where speed is essential. Against fast-paced offenses, that's a liability